welcome back to Crafting a Country Life. I'm Andrea, and I wanted to jump on and share a sweet little journal that I created. And this is the front cover right here, you can see. And this was actually made using a lunch bag. So I'm going to open this up and share with you exactly how I did this and what I included inside. So here's a close-up. And I actually had tri-folded the lunch bag, and then I cut off the fringy parts at the end there. And I've included some seam binding to secure it with. And then on the end, I put an antique button. So let's unwrap it and take a look. Here's the back. And I've used some vintage style paper, cardstock papers from my stash to decorate. All right, so let's open this up. Take the little clasp off there. Okay, and here's the front cover. And I've got some distressing using the Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. And this sweet little portrait of two children. And I just did a little bit of collaging down at the bottom with some vintage style papers. And then I included some antique twill tape here that I had zigzagged on my sewing machine. You can see that. I just did a little bit of layering. Okay, and then the paper that I used back here is actually a recollections pad from Michael's. I want to say it's French country, something like that. And then what I did was I took the paper and I adhered some tissue paper over it with Mod Podge, and I let that dry just to kind of knock back the color a little bit, so it gives it a much softer, muted look. Okay, so open up the journal. This is the inside layout right here. Okay, and I've included a hand-stamped cardstock button. This actually, I had gotten this stamp. Oh, let's see. I got that at Red Lead Paperworks, and it's like a vintage button card. And so I stamped it onto my die-cut tag. Did a little distressing. Okay, and then I just sewed the little antique buttons on by hand. You can see the thread on the back. And I included that into this little tuck spot here with some vintage, what is this called? Rickrack. I had to think for a second. The papers that I used here, these couple of papers, are from the Tim Holtz wallpaper packet. Okay. And then we'll open this again. And this is a a little a die cut from the Tim Holtz wallpaper pack, this little vintage chair here. And then I just added a little bit of, there's a little square of fabric there, and some cardstock down here that I just cut up into squares and glued on. And then a paper doily that I distressed with some tea dye and a little bit of collaging here. And then tucked into this space here, there's a little half pocket. So in here I put a cupcake liner that I folded up into a little envelope and stamped the front with a heart. And just included some ephemera bits. And I believe this one is a Tim Holtz. Actually, I think all three of these are Tim Holtz ephemeras. So I just put, I just included them in the envelope. Okay, so that goes into the little side pocket. Tuck that right in. Okay, and then on the top here, there's a slit. There's an opening. So I put in a couple of vintage tags that I made. Okay, here's the first one. Hold it up nice and close. And I had an antique envelope that I'd gotten at a flea market. So I die cut that, and then I adhered it to some cardstock. Okay, and you can see the beautiful penmanship on the envelope. And then this pretty little, this is a Tim Holtz ephemera bit here. Okay, and then this one, oh, well, and actually I should mention, I did tie the top with some vintage twill tape, just as I had done on the front cover. Okay, and then a little bit of twine to tie the bow there. So that's the first one, and then this one here, again, has a vintage style cardstock, and then I just lay it up, again, the Tim Holtz bits on there, and a little tiny tag, and I included a bulb pin here with some beads and a tiny little charm in the shape of a butterfly. And some vintage lace at the bottom that I tea stained. And again, here is some organza ribbon at the top. So those tuck nicely into this little pocket here. Okay, get those down in there if I can. Okay, and then in the center, here's the center of the trifold. I did some stamping on some vintage cardstock, added some collaging bits here and some distressing, and then there's a beautiful little packet here that I had some old newspaper, and then I die cut it into the shape of an envelope, put some washi tape on it, and I'm going to show you what's inside, if I can just gently take that off. Okay, so this is the little glassine style bag that I made out of the vintage newspaper. And then inside I created a couple of thread spool die cuts, and I put those together, added a little distressing, and then I put 2 different types of twine on each spool. So those go right into the bag, and these will get tucked right back inside the envelope and placed inside that little pocket at the top of the tri-folded lunch bag. Okay, and then one last little cute little vintage style tag that I put together with some trimmings and a little machine stitching and collaging of some bits together. And then I added a little bit of gold paint, glittery paint on the edge, and tied it with a strip of fabric and some pretty metallic threads. I thought that came out really pretty. I love it. You know, and then the recipient can use this in whatever way she'd like. And we just tuck it into this little tuck spot, again using one of the Tim Holtz wallpaper pieces that came in the package when I purchased it. And I think that's it. Did we get everything? Oh, did we do this? I don't. There's a little pocket here, right inside the front cover. I almost forgot. And inside here, I tucked in a little handmade notepad. Okay, and I took some pages, text pages from a paper pad that I had, and then I sprayed the back with some distressing stain. I'm gonna hold it a little bit closer so you can see. You know, there are maps on there and ledger paper, little postcard facsimiles. So this is just spritzed on with some walnut stain and a little bit of water, and I let the papers dry, and then I ironed them with my iron to flatten them out. And then to create the little booklet, I used the pamphlet stitch, the bookmaker's pamphlet stitch, which you can see here right inside. I love the way that looks with the linen twine. So I thought that came out really cute. And then this tucks again right inside that slot in the front cover. Okay, and then you just wrap it up a couple of times and tuck the button down to secure it. I think that makes a really pretty presentation. Yeah, so I finished that up. I've been working on that just a little bit here and there over the past week or so. And I've been very busy cleaning my studio today. We have a snowstorm here in the Northeast, so I have a day off, and so I've been working up here, straightening and organizing, and I just finished putting away my Valentine's crafting tote tubs, back up into the attic, and I'm going to be starting my springtime crafting shortly. And yeah, so that's my plan for this afternoon, is to work on a little bit of springtime crafting and see what possibilities I can come up with there. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you back again soon for more crafty videos. Bye for now.